Alcatraz built its reputation on reinforced concrete and iron bars, but for the inmates, the environment was the primary obstacle, the freezing, deadly currents of the San Francisco Bay crashing against the island. Yet on the morning of June 12, 1962, guards walked past cell 138 and saw an inmate fast asleep. When they rattled the bars, a paper-mache head rolled onto the floor. 3 men had vanished from maximum security lockup: Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin. 17 years later, the FBI officially closed their investigation. They determined that the men perished in the bay, their improvised raft destroyed by the relentless currents. But modern hydrologists and engineers have recently revisited those exact tidal conditions. Using new computational data, they are challenging that 50-year-old assumption. To figure out what actually happened to Morris and the Anglins, we have to look past the true crime lore. Their escape requires us to analyze a 2-part engineering problem: overcoming the solid walls of the prison and surviving the liquid chaos of the bay. The preparation phase took 6 months. To get out of their block, the men first had to widen the ventilation ducts beneath their cell sinks to squeeze into a utility corridor. They scrounged discarded saw blades and metal spoons from the mess hall. For the heavy excavation, they reverse-engineered an electric drill, using the motorized fan from a stolen prison vacuum cleaner. To hide the grinding noise of their mechanical digging, they set up a strict operational schedule. While one man worked the drill, another played an accordion loudly to mask the sound during the daily music hour. Getting out of the building was only half the job. They needed a watercraft. They found the blueprints for their survival in the pages of DIY magazines like Popular Mechanics, which circulated freely through the prison library. Setting up a clandestine workshop on the vacant top tier of their cell block, the inmates gathered 50 stolen and donated raincoats. They hand-stitched a 6-by-14-foot raft and pressed the seams against the prison's exposed steam pipes, utilizing the intense heat to vulcanize and seal the liquid plastic. To actually inflate this massive rubber structure, they modified another musical instrument, a concertina, repurposing it into a mechanical bellows. They climbed a ventilation shaft, removed the rivets holding the roof fan, and broke into the night air. Leaving the building was a necessary mechanical step. The true test was the environmental engineering problem waiting at the water's edge. Forced to leave their 4th accomplice, Alan West, behind because his vent was stuck, Morris and the Anglin brothers descended to the northeast shoreline. They inflated their raft and pushed out into the highly unpredictable fluid dynamics of the bay. For decades, the math governing that water was a mystery. That changed when researchers from the Dutch University TU Delft applied modern hydrological testing to the cold case. A 3DI software simulation recreated the exact tidal currents for June 11, 1962. Launching at 8 p.m., an ebb tide sweeps them into the open ocean, but a hidden window between 11 p.m. and midnight reversed the tides, guiding a clear path to the Marin headlands. This exact route has been corroborated by modern physical tests. Teams from Mythbusters and engineer Mark Rober have built rafts using the inmates' exact materials and successfully navigated that specific midnight current to reach the mainland. By mapping the water, modern science flips the core assumption of the investigation. The 3DI model demonstrates that with the right timing, reaching the shore was a matter of predictable tidal mechanics. The FBI officially ended their search in 1979. They pointed to a wooden paddle and a few lice vests recovered in the bay as evidence that the raft broke apart, even though no bodies were ever recovered. But the United States Marshals Service never closed their file. Their warrants will remain active, and the manhunt will officially continue until the missing men reach the age of 100. For over 60 years, investigators have sifted through anonymous Christmas cards, purported photographs of the brothers on a Brazilian farm in the 1970s, and inconsistent deathbed confessions. Yet without physical remains or concrete DNA evidence, the definitive historical truth of their fate will likely remain a mystery. The 1962 Alcatraz escape proves that what authorities deem impossible is simply an engineering problem waiting to be solved. As long as there is math to be exploited, human ingenuity will find a way to use it.